So having not been successful in those initial rounds of auditions, Phoenix then went into a workshop process, which they say were not auditions. It was a way of the theatre company giving back and coaching the kids and encouraging them. And yet I'm sure it was their way of getting to know them and understanding who they might want to work with and who was good and who needed more work and who, was going to come back in a year's time or 6 months' time or whatever. And as part of this, Phoenix was given some music to learn that initially seemed truly impossible. And we had no idea why he'd been given this. And it was immensely difficult. And when he first got it, it is recognized as one of the greatest, most difficult guitar solos ever. And so he was really excited. He was looking it up on YouTube. He was listening to it on his headphones. He was working out the notes on his guitar. And at this stage, he was unstoppable. Now, the truth is, this stage is what I call the enthusiastic beginner. You don't really know how much work it's going to take. You don't know what you don't know. You just dive in and do it. It's like starting a new project. It's like starting with a new client. It's that beginning. It's the I'm all in. The thing is, there's a new stage follows that. Sometimes it can come quickly. Sometimes it takes time to settle in. It's what I call the disillusioned learner. This is the tough phase. This is the phase when you do know what you don't know. You do know that you haven't got the talent, the ability, the skills, the resources that you need to make success come to you quickly. This is when you realize the distance between where you are and where you need to be. That was a really tough phase. That was a phase where motivation was incredibly difficult to draw on. It's a phase of balancing two positions. One is, look how far you've come, to recognize the work that was already done. And sometimes it was about, look how much closer you're getting to your goal. And it was coming out of that phase when it was recognized that progress was being made, that there was an understanding, a sense of, yeah, I do know that I'm making progress. Yes, I do know that if I'm consistent with my practice, I can start to create extraordinary things. That's what slowly but surely drags you out of that disillusioned learner phase. But it's the phase where the work really has to be done. It's the phase where consistency is the most important resource. And following on from that stage, following on from that trough of despondency, of being a disillusioned learner, you then become cautiously competent. Yeah, I can do this. It might need some more refinement, but I can do this. And that's a phase where the work becomes self-fulfilling. I notice in Phoenix, when he gets to this phase, he can't put his guitar down. He will play literally until his skin bursts off or his fingers bleed. He'll get blisters, and it's only at that point he'll stop playing. He's so motivated to move to the next level. And then there's a level that comes on from that. It's a level that it's almost invisible because you don't notice it when it arrives. It's only when in reference to others that you really see it. And that's mastery. You just know how to do it. One of Phoenix's best friends, Annabelle, is an amazing drummer, a truly gifted drummer. And I was talking to her about this process of learning to play the drums. And she said something really fascinating to me. She said, you know what? I was asked about this the other day. I have no memory of not being able to play. That's what mastery is. It's not knowing what it was like before you had this skill, had this resource. So when your next project comes up, when your next relationship, your next client, your next fitness exercise regime, or whatever it is for you, remember there's that phase of enthusiasm at the beginning, the enthusiastic beginner phase. It's going to be followed by the disillusioned learner phase. When you know that, when you know you can get through that, when you know you can apply yourself consistently, that's when you'll create sustainable transformation. Be aware of it, notice it, and work through it. Thank you for listening.